Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall, psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. It's been an absolutely awesome start to the show. My producer's been singing me in, so that's a lovely change from just a usual countdown. So we'll keep the show moving in a very positive light this week. And I'm really excited to talk about this Simply Tarot card of the week this week. It's one of my favourites. I always like positive things in our lives, and this week it's the Chariot. Now, the Chariot can mean movement of residence, a journey, but more importantly, usually victory over the situation or the problem that you may have been experiencing. And this is why it's one of my favourite cards, because finally we're getting resolution, finally we're getting change, we're breaking up the concrete in our lives and finally getting some direction with things, and also can be balancing the opposite polarities. So if you've been feeling like you've been playing a balancing act, finally we're sort of starting to bring everything under control, and you can finally feel as if you are in the driver's seat for a change. How amazing is that going to be? Now, before we move on to the candle of the week and we talk about our famous person this week, I want to quickly talk about what's happening in the universe, because we've got a really, really big, heavy week in a positive sort of way that's happening around the universe at the moment. Now, we quite often talk about the planet Mercury, the planet of communication. Well, Mercury's still holding hands or conjunct Mars at the moment, sitting in Cancer. So what that means is it's a time then when we can gently approach communications, conversations, things that we may need to have or talk about in a gentle sort of non-threatening sort of way, particularly connected with matters of family, loved ones, people that are the closest to us. So it's the perfect time for those deep and meaningful conversations, or the topic that you've got to bring up that you sort of think's a little bit prickly, could cause an argument. Well, now's the perfect time to bring that up, because everybody's got their listening ears on. Nobody's in a confrontational, or hopefully not in a confrontational sort of energy, and things are sort of gentle and flowing, and people are more inclined to sort of sit down and listen and absorb and try and find a solution. Now, to the opposite end of the spectrum, and I'm going to say the opposite end of the spectrum because it is literally opposite sides of the zodiac, we have a major planetary configuration, which is not so much on a personal level, but this is more on the world stage and more connected with things like governments, big business, anything sort of official. Now, it's sort of almost in a sense the exact opposite, because if you look at the zodiac, we've got the Cancer stuff sitting here, but we've got the Capricorn stuff that I'm going to talk about sitting over here. So it's like a seesaw, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. So what's happening there, and particularly probably more on the political arenas or on the world stage in as such, is people sort of jockeying for position, but they're sort of trying to do it in a way that they're trying to come across that they've got everybody's best interest at heart. They're taking the easier or the soft approach to a difficult problem, and this is the only way we can sort of sort it out. And after we've done a lot of investigation and we've had a lot of inquiries and this, that and the other, this is the solution we've come up with. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit tired of hearing politicians talking about this is the only solution, because it's the only solution that they can come up with. And they haven't necessarily, well, they've done all the inquiries and spent all the money, but what they've done is hired the same people to look at the problem in the same way and give it a slightly different colour, just sort of say, oh, well, this is a brand new solution to the same old problem, and we really haven't found any major breakthroughs, but this is what we'll trot out. And all you silly twits are going to listen to us and think that this is amazing and aren't I good and gee, I deserve a pay rise. So just be very aware of what might be happening in your part of the world with your own local politics or your nation's politics. Make sure that you do listen if you're looming towards an election. Make sure that they're not trotting out the same information, fairy flossed pink, or made it look or sound better than it did last time they paraded it out, because it is an opposition situation to what's going on the home front. It's like the home front, we've got amazing things happening where we can have some major breakthroughs in communication, but when it comes to more political or big business or big opportunities sort of more on the world stage, it's sort of like they're trying to hoodwink us a little bit. So we need to be a little bit careful of that. I know, a lot of us sort of tune our ears out when it comes to politics because it seems to go on forever and ever and ever before they get to an election. And we get sick of hearing what they're saying and how they repackage the same rubbish in a different colour. But it probably really is the time that we all need to focus as not just an individual, but as a collective to try and make and bring about real change in the world and really tackle the big issues like starvation and, global warming and things like this, the things that are important for future generations. So anyway, we'll move the show along. I want to talk about this week a famous actress that I believe is one of the world's greatest ever. And she was somebody that had an illustrious career, and she was nicknamed the leading lady of Hollywood for over 60 years. Now, that's a hell of a journey in anybody's book, but to be the leading lady of Hollywood and given that title for over 60 years, I don't know that we're ever going to see in our lifetime another person that could fill this lady's shoes. And I'm talking about the one and only Katharine Hepburn. She was feisty, she was determined, she was very much an individual. She didn't back down to anybody. She had definite opinions about what she liked and didn't like, and if she didn't like it, that was just bad luck. She wasn't going to change her mind. She started out, on the stage, on Broadway, but I think she's probably the best remembered for some of the gutsy sort of roles that she played in Hollywood, in films, and they were very diverse, from comedies through to really sort of life-changing stories, things that had a purpose, had a meaning, and she wasn't frightened to tackle a good script. And she wasn't frightened to speak her mind if she thought the lines didn't read right or the story was going a little bit off kilter. She'd have her say. And 9 times out of 10 she won because she was right and she knew what she was talking about. It was almost she sort of changed herself into the part that she was playing and brought that person to life on the big screen as if, that was who she truly was. So I think, for those of you that sort of like to go back and watch some of the older, better made movies, in my opinion, African Queen is one of the ones that Katharine Hepburn is most well known for. And On Golden Pond, that I spoke about last week with Henry Fonda, still one of my ultimate all-time favourite movies. Such beautiful messages, strong dynamic messages in both of those movies, very different movies. But if you want something that's got a bit of a storyline that's, brilliant acting, shot well, and just, a pleasure to watch, well, they're my 2 picks. So we're going to move on to our candle of the week this week. And it's interesting because this week I'm trying to focus on the positive, that I think we've had enough doom and gloom for a while around the world with shootings and massacres and weather events and everything like that. So let's try and sort of bring in some positive energy this week in the next 7 days and see if we can't turn our lives around for each and every one of us. So this week I've chosen the good luck candle. And, that speaks for itself. We could all do with a little bit more luck in our lives, couldn't we? And I think by just positively focusing on maybe some new things you'd like to bring into your life, or is there ways that you can improve your life? Good luck is one of those words that we throw around quite a lot. Oh, my luck's run out at the moment because I'm having a bad time. We don't tend to often sort of say when things are going well, oh, my good luck's with me this week. We sort of tend to focus on the bad stuff, not necessarily the positive stuff. So this week I'd like everybody to just burn a candle. It doesn't necessarily have to be my good luck candle, but any candle, and make it your good luck candle this week. Burn it for about 15 minutes to 2 hours and focus on trying to attract some positive things into your life and things that you're grateful for, things that you can say thank you for, that I'm really proud and really pleased I've achieved this, or I'm just grateful to be alive, or I'm grateful to be having a great week with some lovely people. So there's lots of things that I think that we can be thankful for and thank our good luck for. So that's our good luck candle. So, burning it for 15 minutes to 2 hours a day and focusing on just the things that we're thankful for, I think, in our lives. So this week, just to mix it up a little bit, I made a pack up with not just using the good luck candle that we're featuring this week, but I'm showing you that you can make up your pack with individual candles to suit your need. So I picked a good luck candle, a love candle, and a tarot candle, just to show you the diversity of what we have in our range. We have 28 in the range, so you don't have to have 3 of the same. You can pick 3 candles from the range to make up your little gift box set. And these little mini candles burn for about 15 hours each, so they are good value, and they make lovely little individual presents that you can give to sort of people that you just want to give a small gift to. So that's why we call them the gift box set. So for those people that want to work with a melt warmer, that don't want to work with a candle, pick these up at your local department store, fairly inexpensive. And you can just take your soy wax out of your candle, pop it in there, and, you know, have that melting away in the background, sending a beautiful fragrance through your home or your office, and that will give you the same sort of energy. So we're going to take our first caller, and it's Brittany in Tulsa in Oklahoma. Are you there, Brittany?
Yes, I am.
How can I help you tonight, sweetie? Do you have a question for me?
Well, I would just like a general reading. Me and my boyfriend just moved in together, and we've had some difficulties getting on the same page and moving forward into the next step of our life. And I've had some career changes happen recently. So career and love is what I'd like to focus on, if possible.
Okay, Brittany, it's always a major shift in our lives when we take that step and move in with someone or marry them or, you know, take that step of commitment. You know, it can be great while we're dating and we see each other fairly regularly and we think this is going to be absolutely marvellous when we move in together and we have all this time together. But then we start to realise that, you know, there's other things that come into a relationship besides wanting to be together. You know, just adjusting to each other's habit patterns and, you know, routines and things like that can be sort of stressful, let alone sort of sorting out who pays what or who does what or who takes out the trash. These are all become quite major issues within a relationship when we move in together that I don't think anybody really shares with us or talks about with us, even though people say, oh, it's different when you're moving together. You know, you see then the real test of the relationship. Well, yes, you do. But I think also for both of you, I think this has been a major adjustment for both of you, not just you, I think for both of you. And I don't think you really had a plan of attack that how you would resolve confrontation or things that weren't quite right or things that are troubling you or bothering you. Look, I do think things will settle down. I think he's not the easiest person in the world to live with. He gets a little bit moody from time to time and a little bit withdrawn, quiet, whatever label you want to put on it. And you sort of think, well, what have I done wrong? Why isn't he happy? Why isn't he this? Why isn't he that? Don't take too much notice of that. That's just who he is. It's just like, you know, some people say, don't speak to me until I've had my coffee. Of a morning, I'm like a bear with a sore head. So it's a matter of learning and adjusting to each other and getting to know each other's little idiosyncrasies and mood swings and how you handle situations that come up. And that takes time, sweetheart. It's not something that happens in a week or a month. It's a time of adjustment. And, you know, for some couples, it takes a lifetime to sort of adjust as we change and grow as we move through the different stages of a relationship. I also sort of feel for you that you sort of feel that he doesn't take things seriously. You know, you have been concerned over your work. I don't think you're still completely settled even in the type of job that you've got at the moment. There's still question marks hanging around that at whether or not this is the right thing, whether or not this is the right job moving forward over the longer period. And I think it's sort of almost like he's dismissed that as, you know, you're just being silly. Well, no, you're not being silly. This is a real concern to you, Brittany, because you don't feel comfortable with this. You don't feel secure in it. So therefore, it is a concern. So for someone else to sort of just dismiss that and say, oh, you're being silly, just relax and enjoy it, that's not being supportive, in my opinion. You know, that might be their opinion and, you know, yes, they've got a right to voice their opinion, but at the same time, they've got to take notice of what you're actually saying. You're the one that's got to go to that job. You're the one that's got to do that job day in, day out. If you don't feel secure, then that's a real issue. I feel in August, I think you're going to be looking at whether or not you're going to stay in that job. I think you're going to start seriously looking to see what else is out there in the job market moving forward. I'm not sure that there's necessarily a change in August, but I'm seeing from August on as if there's opportunities there for you to sort of really take a leap of faith forward, particularly with your career and move into something else that will better suit you. So I think, the remainder of this year is still going to be about adjustments, and it's about just taking day by day, Brittany. Don't try and lump everything all in together and sort it out in one go, because I think it's going to be too difficult. We need to just take it day by day and just let things filter through the way that they need to. So the place that you've moved into together, is that somewhere you're planning on staying long term? Because I didn't feel that this was a long term place of abode. I felt early 2020 there was going to be another decision for a move, and I don't mean separating, I mean together. Whether or not it's another move or whether the two of you are talking about trying to scrape enough money together to buy something. But I feel that there's some decisions made in the early part of 2020 as far as longer term security and future for the two of you. So I hope that's been of help to you, Brittany.
Yeah, we have talked about moving out of state. I was supposed to move down to Texas at first, and then he ended up coming up to Oklahoma. So it's definitely been a discussion that we've had. And we want to buy property and start a family and work towards that. We just need to get in a place that we feel comfortable to start that.
Yeah, and I just sort of feel you're working towards that, I think there is more changes coming, but I think you both need to be open and honest with each other about what you really want. It's not the time to sort of say something because it's going to make the other person happy. We have to be open and honest with each other about what we want longer term.
I agree. That resonates very much.
Yeah. Yeah, but, it's an adjustment period, sweetie. No relationship is ever easy at the beginning. When you move in together, it's all sparkly and shiny and new, and then reality of day-to-day life sets in. The laundry's got to be done, a meal's got to be cooked, and someone's got to take out the trash. They're the practical sides of a relationship that we all have to adjust to, sweetie, not just you and your partner. Everybody does when they make that commitment.
Right. What about fertility? Do you have any fertility vibes for readings?
Technically, by law, we're not supposed to discuss those sort of things. I'm going to say to you, I think there will be a family in time. I don't think that there's going to be an issue there with that.
Okay, so it's definitely been a concern. So.
Yeah, but I think sort of stop worrying about it for the moment. I think you're going to be fine. Let's just deal with the day-to-day stuff at the moment and, getting you settled and getting a property of your own and, things like that, and let nature take its course.
Right.
Okay, lovely to speak with you, Brittany. We're going to go and talk to... We're going to talk to Conceptia in Ireland, in Tipperary. How are you?
Oh, hi, Amanda. How are you? Thank you.
Very, very, very well, sweetie. I apologise if I didn't get your name right. How can I help you this evening?
You can, just anything in general. You sound very good.
That's good. Thank you. So do you have a question I can work with, sweetie?
Just anything. Love life, really. The usual.
Okay. All right. Well, yes, the usual questions are relating to love or money or a combination of both. Okay.
Oh, no, we leave the money for another time.
Of course we do, sweetheart. Okay. The first thing I'm picking up is there's somebody from your past that's coming back across your path. So was there somebody there in your past about, I don't know, over 5 years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, that had medium to dark brown hair, that there was sort of not an opportunity to see where that attraction could go?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
That person is coming back across your path, and I'm going to say this time there is an opportunity for the two of you to explore where this could go, because you're both now currently free. I don't feel that either one of you ever forgot the other person. Even though you got on with your lives and went, different directions, you never really forgot each other. The attraction was very, very strong. And it was something that I think that needs to be explored now, because the opportunity will be there for you to be able to do so. So that's a good thing. He's got a cheekiness about him. It's like, I know he can be serious when he needs to be, but there's this cheekiness behind the eyes that you almost sort of say, I never know what he's going to do next. You know, he's sort of full of mischief, and that keeps the relationship, I think, exciting. It's sort of, he's bringing some sparkle into your life that I don't think's been there for a long time. You haven't had a lot to be joyful about in the last couple of years. So I think this is going to be a refreshing change, having him come back into your life and also bring some fun and frivolity and make you smile and laugh again, which is a good thing. Money is still going to be a little bit tight over the next couple of months, but I just sort of feel as we get in the final quarter of this year, things start to improve on the financial front.
Okay.
And it's more about you changing your attitude in as much as, you know, like sometimes we've just got to accept that there is nothing that can change at the moment. We've just got to grin and bear it and keep working towards the goal, knowing one day things will get better. And that's what I feel, that's the cycle that you're in at the moment. And then when we get there, then I think we can say, okay, let's exhale. You know, we've come through the worst part. Now we can see that there is going to be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow if I keep working towards this. And it's been through no fault of your own. It's just been, this was a series of things or events that happened in your life that you had little or no control over, except to just grin and bear it and keep moving forward. So, you know, certainly 2020 is going to be one of the best years of your life that you've had in a very, very long time, particularly financially. But I also, you know, obviously matters of the heart too, because you're going to be so happy with this relationship in your life where, you know, you're laughing and joking and life feels a lot freer than what it did. So all these things are a positive.
Okay, Amanda, can I ask you, I had two exes, so, you know, I'm a bit confused which of them that might be coming back. Mick was one of them,
This is one that
Sean
you never
was the other.
actually, this is one that you never actually had the opportunity to see where a relationship could go. It was like one or both of you were in a relationship at the time when you met, but you knew the attraction was really strong.
Yeah, it's hard to know because the two of them had their own, they were married, you know, and it's hard for me to know which one, but I'm not sure. I guess Mick myself.
Well, I think you'll know when the time comes. This one to me had very cheeky eyes. It was sort of like you never knew whether you should take him seriously or not, you know, like he'd sort of put things across in such a way that it could have a double meaning.
Yeah. Both of them, I picked the same kind of men always. Both of them were fun men, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter which.
Okay, so they showed me a time frame between 5 to 8 years ago. So if that helps narrow it down.
Well, Sean was about 12. Mick was on and off for the last. He's been coming and going like anything. It's hard to know, honestly, myself even, you know.
No, I don't think it's the second one, because this one you haven't seen in years. You're going to be really surprised that he comes back across your path. You thought he moved away, so, you know, there'd been no contact.
Sean has gone 12 years now, so I'm not sure if it's him, but honestly, I was hoping it was the other man myself.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, they showed me between 5 to 8 years, and they showed me that you believed at the time there was no possible way that this could ever have become your opportunity to have happiness.
Yeah. Both of them are nice, and they have their own problems, the same as anybody else, so it doesn't matter, sure, listen, you know. But how soon do you think?
Look, I feel within the next couple of months, and I felt it was a very unusual sort of connection. Like, they didn't go out of their way to try and find you. It's like fate sort of organises this meeting or this bumping into each other or being at the same event. And it's just like, wow, you know, how could this happen? Isn't this amazing? You're both free. You're both able to sort of see where this can go. You're not 20 anymore. It doesn't matter how fast the relationship moves. You both know what you want. And it's just sort of like everything can move forward again, which is absolutely amazing. So I feel very excited about it for you, because finally I think you're going to get your happily ever after.
Oh, okay. And is he my twin flame or soulmate? I need them my twin flame or soulmate, so they say.
Yeah, well, good things do come to those who wait, sweetie. You know, not life isn't always about being difficult.
Oh no, I do wait. That's one thing about me, and I make them wait. You know.
Oh well.
But, yeah, that's nice to hear, Amanda. You know. But anyway, just wonder, am I ever going to move house? I'm not happy where I am for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I do think
a
you're
year
going
and
to
a
move
half.
house, but I don't think it's going to be before March next year. I feel we've got other things that we've got to get. We've got to get your finances in order first before you can move house.
Okay, March next year. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Very nice to speak with you, sweetie.
Sorry, Amanda.
I said, very nice to speak with you, sweetie. I've got to go now that we're at the end of the show.
I know you do. Listen, thanks very much. You're brilliant. What a show I looked at tonight. I didn't even know this existed until today. But all the psychics were brilliant on that show.
Wonderful. Thank you, sweetie. We love
And you
bringing it
too.
to
And
you,
take care,
Rebecca.
Amanda, and the best of luck in the future.
Thank you, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Oh, see you. Bye-bye.
So it's been a very interesting show. We always love to talk to people from all parts of the world, and everybody has a different way of looking at how they're going to bring their good luck into their life in the coming 7 days. And I think it's about really sort of taking care of yourself and taking a little bit of time out and asking yourself, how is your year going? Is it really panning out the way that you want it to, seeing as we're halfway point through the year? And it's, you know, I know for me it's always a time of a year where I sit down and I look at the progress that I'm making for this halfway point and sort of look at whether or not there needs to be changes or adjustments, or what are my plans for the next sort of 12 months. And I suppose that depends on what part of the world you're in and what your star sign is. But for me, it's always winter time, I think, is the perfect time to sit down and have a look at what the changes are that you might want to bring about in your life. So next week we'll be sort of talking about the full moon in Sagittarius. So that'll be we always have a lot of fun when we talk about the full moon and how that's going to affect each and every one of us. So until next week, I hope you keep strong, keep being true to yourself, but make sure that you have those conversations with the people that you love and tell them how you feel about them and how proud you are of them and how blessed you feel to have them in your life. Until next week, bye for now.